Most people think of their bedroom as a place to sleep, not a place where money decisions are being made. But what if I told you that the way your bedroom is set up, especially one overlooked corner, could be influencing not just your rest, but your income, your savings, even the opportunities that seem to coincidentally show up in your life? I'm not talking about magic. I'm talking about how energy settles or refuses to settle, depending on how your space holds it. There's one common mistake I've seen in nearly every home I've visited. People invest in planners, budgeting apps, side gigs, yet ignore the space they spend 1/3 of their life in. And here's the quiet truth. If your bedroom energy is restless, scattered, or left to chance, your financial energy often follows the same path. But change one detail, one small object placed in the right spot, and the shift can be immediate and lasting. This video isn't about superstition or trends. It's about understanding the invisible habits of space. Because what surrounds you shapes you. And today we're focusing on a jar. Not just any jar, but a specific one that works quietly, tucked away, and does one thing well: holds wealth energy so it doesn't slip through the cracks. Some of you may already have something similar at home. But here's the catch. If it's in the wrong place or left empty, it might be doing the exact opposite of what you intend. So before we rearrange your budget, let's talk about rearranging your bedroom. Because sometimes abundance doesn't require earning more. It just needs a better place to stay. Section 1, your bedroom is either earning or losing for you. It's easy to overlook the bedroom. Most of us design it for comfort, for privacy, maybe for a splash of personal style. We think of it as the place we retreat to when the day is done. A pause, a shutdown. But here's the reality few consider. Your bedroom is not just where you end the day, it's where your energy begins again. It's the first space your body feels when you wake up, the last space your subconscious registers before sleep. And whether you realize it or not, it's setting the tone for your wealth. Now, I'm not saying your bedroom is making or breaking your financial life all on its own, but I am saying it's quietly shaping how you hold energy. And that energy, how it sits, how it moves, how it lingers or leaks, is what influences how opportunities come in, and more importantly, how long they stay. Think about this: you spend nearly 1/3 of your life asleep. That's about 25-30 years in a single space. But it's not just the number of hours, it's what those hours mean. Sleep is when your body resets, but more than that, it's when your inner system, mental, emotional, energetic, processes everything. If your bedroom is cluttered, poorly arranged, or simply off, you're not just losing sleep. You're leaking focus, motivation, clarity, and money thrives in clarity. It shows up where there's direction. It stays where it feels respected. Have you ever woken up already tired, or felt heavy in a room without knowing why? That's not just poor lighting or bad decor. That's energy without grounding. And in the world we live in, fast-paced, hyper-connected, overstimulated, what we need most is space that calms us, reminds us who we are, and supports what we're trying to build. Your bedroom isn't a luxury, it's your core. And like any core, if it's unstable, everything else wobbles. Let me make this more practical. Imagine someone trying to build wealth. They get up early, follow a budget, work extra hours, maybe even hustle a side gig. But then they come home to a bedroom that's overstuffed with forgotten things: shoes under the bed, bills stacked on the dresser, electronics blinking into the night. That's not a sanctuary, it's a silent conflict. The space meant to refill them is actually draining them. No matter how smart the plan or how hard the work, if the foundation is disorganized, the results will always feel harder than they need to. And this isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. A calm, well-aligned bedroom doesn't need expensive furniture or Pinterest-worthy design. It needs intention. It needs to feel like it holds you, not like it challenges you. It needs to be arranged in a way that says, you belong here, and what you're building matters. In my years of consulting, I've walked into hundreds of bedrooms. You can learn everything about someone by the way they treat the space they sleep in. I've seen high achievers with scattered rooms, People earning well but spending more, always on edge, chasing the next thing without knowing why. I've also seen modest bedrooms, simple, uncluttered, quietly powerful, where the energy felt so stable, you could sense the owner had their feet firmly on the ground. One of my clients, a school teacher in her late 50s, told me, "When I finally cleared the chaos from my bedroom and moved my bed just 2 feet, I stopped waking up anxious. I started saying no to what didn't serve me. Within months, my side business doubled." Did moving the bed cause that? No, but it created the conditions for her clarity to rise, and that clarity reshaped her life. You see, energy doesn't lie, it doesn't overthink, it simply responds. If your bedroom holds peace, you carry that peace into your day. If it holds confusion, you absorb that too. And here's the part that surprised even me after years of work. The most successful clients I've had all had one thing in common. They respected their bedrooms, not obsessively, not out of superstition, but because they understood something most people don't. The environment you rest in either reflects your self-worth or erodes it. So ask yourself this: what is your bedroom saying about what you deserve? Does it hold your future or just your past? Is it a vault for rest and renewal or a dumping ground for everything you didn't want to deal with during the day? The beautiful thing is this: bedrooms are the easiest rooms to transform. You don't need to change everything. You only need to change the right things. Sometimes that means removing an old piece of furniture that never felt right. Sometimes it means choosing a better color for the sheets. And sometimes it means placing one object in one intentional spot. An object that quietly holds your desire to grow, stabilize, and thrive. In the next section, I'll show you what that object is. But before we go there, let me leave you with this. You are not lazy, unlucky, or undisciplined. You are likely just unsupported. And the room you sleep in every night, that's where the support begins. Change that room, and you just might change what walks into your life. Section 2, this one jar does what a bank account can't. There's something quietly sacred about the objects we keep close. The wedding ring you never take off. The photograph on the dresser no one else notices. The way you fold a blanket passed down from your mother. These things don't just sit there, they hold emotion, memory, intention. And sometimes they hold energy, the kind that shifts the direction of your life without needing to say a word. That's what this jar is. Not a bank account, not an investment portfolio, not a flashy display of wealth. Just a simple, green-glazed ceramic jar, quiet, grounded, and unassuming. But in the right space, with the right care, it does something extraordinary. It gives your wealth a place to stay, not just the money you've made, but the opportunities you want, the stability you long for, the feeling that your effort has somewhere safe to land. This is not about superstition or some magical claim. It's about the principle behind the object. And that principle is ancient and surprisingly practical. What is contained is preserved. What is honored multiplies. The jar works because it follows that logic. Its shape is intentional, wide at the base to receive, narrow at the top to protect. Its color, a soft celadon green, carries the feeling of growth, calm, and renewal. It's not aggressive. It doesn't scream wealth. It simply creates a vessel where wealth can rest, so it doesn't rush in and rush out like so many paychecks, ideas, and good intentions do. Let me tell you about Marie. She's a retired nurse living in Colorado, modest home, modest life. She'd spent decades saving, budgeting, always responsible, but never felt like her money stuck. It came in. It went out. She never splurged, but she always worried. I worked with her on one session, just one. We didn't talk about money at all. We talked about space. She told me, "I've always felt like my house was never quite mine." She kept things tidy, but everything felt temporary, replaceable, even the furniture. When I asked her what she valued most in her room, she said, "Nothing really." And that answer broke my heart, because if the space you sleep in doesn't hold your worth, how can your life reflect it? We added a jar, a simple one. She chose it herself, earthy green, smooth to the touch. We placed it quietly on the eastern side of her bedroom, inside a drawer. No fanfare, no big ritual. But we gave it a job, to be a home for what she wanted to grow. A week later, she called me, not to talk about money, but to tell me how calm she felt. "It's like there's a piece of me in that drawer now," she said. "Something that's just for me." That feeling, that's the shift, because when you feel safe, you spend differently, you earn differently, you move through the world with more steadiness. A month later, she landed a consulting role, easy hours, meaningful work. "The money's nice," she said, "but honestly, I just feel more grounded. And that to me is real wealth." So what makes this jar different than a bank account? Here's the truth: bank accounts are logic-based. They hold numbers. The jar holds intention. Banks hold your transactions. The jar holds your energy. One tracks what you've done, the other reminds you who you're becoming, and we need both. But one doesn't replace the other. The jar becomes powerful because of how you treat it. You don't toss keys into it. You don't leave it open, exposed, forgotten. You honor it by placing it with care, by choosing what to store inside, by letting it remind you every single day that your life has value and that value deserves a home. Some people fill it with a few crisp bills. Others drop in handwritten affirmations or even a ring that symbolizes commitment to their future. The object doesn't matter as much as the message. "This is where my wealth lives." And don't confuse wealth with cash. Wealth is stability. It's peace. It's the sense that what you build today won't fall apart tomorrow. That's what this jar stands for. Not for windfalls or jackpots, but for keeping what you've already worked for protecting what's precious. There's also something quietly healing about choosing a jar that isn't flashy, that doesn't announce itself. In a culture where we're often told to show up, stand out, go big or go home, this is a gesture that whispers instead of shouts. And in that whisper, something deeper happens. The jar says, "I'm not performing, I'm preparing, I'm not asking for attention, I'm making space." And the energy around you listens. It always does. You might be thinking, but how can something so small make such a difference? That's the thing. It's not the size of the jar, it's the space you give it, the respect, the pause, the shift in attention from everything outside of you to something still, internal, and quietly powerful. We live in a world where we're told to chase, chase, chase. But sometimes the most transformative thing you can do for your finances is to stop chasing and start holding. This jar isn't for everyone. Some people will roll their eyes. That's okay. But for those of you who have felt the drain, the constant doing, the endless trying, the invisible leak in your life, you might sense something different. You might recognize that what you've been missing isn't more effort, it's more alignment. And that alignment doesn't begin with spreadsheets or side hustles. It begins with a small act of declaration. This matters, I matter, my energy matters. And so we place the jar, not to impress anyone, not to fix everything overnight, but to say clearly, simply, that you're building a space where wealth is welcome, peace is possible, and growth is expected. You're not waiting for luck, you're making room for it. In the next section, I'll show you where to place this jar, because even a beautiful vessel placed wrong loses its strength. But for now, ask yourself this. If your wealth had a home inside your bedroom, would it feel safe enough to stay? Section 3 put it here, or it won't work. Some things work only when they're placed right. A key doesn't open a lock unless it's turned the right way. A seed doesn't grow if buried in cement. And even the most beautiful jar, filled with the right intention, loses its power if set in the wrong place. This isn't about superstition. It's about understanding that energy, like people, thrives where it's respected and retreats where it's ignored. Too often, people get inspired. They buy the right object, hold the right vision, even make the right effort. But they place that effort in chaos. They put the jar on a cluttered nightstand behind a stack of books next to a blinking phone charger. They leave it visible to everyone, or worse, shoved into a corner collecting dust. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But here's the truth. Where you place something says more than what you place. Placement is permission, and wealth, like peace, needs to feel invited. Let's talk placement, not just in terms of direction, but in meaning. In traditional energy alignment systems, the east side of a room is connected to growth, renewal, beginnings. It's the symbolic direction of sunrise, where light re-enters the world after darkness. Placing your jar on the eastern side of your bedroom isn't a gimmick, it's a quiet alignment. You're not just placing a jar, you're placing your intention in the path of new light. But let's go deeper. Why the bedroom? Why not the living room where you spend more hours awake? Or the office where money decisions get made? Because wealth isn't built in action alone, it's preserved in rest, it's protected in stillness. The bedroom is the most private, most vulnerable space you inhabit, and that makes it the most energetically sensitive. What you place here sinks in deeper. It holds longer. Think of it this way: you wouldn't hang your most meaningful photo in the garage. You'd keep it somewhere it can breathe, somewhere close to you. The jar is the same. It needs peace to do its work. Now, within the bedroom, the best place for your jar is the east side of the room, ideally inside a wardrobe, drawer, or small cabinet. Not on display, not front and center. Think of it like a safe, not because it's hiding wealth, but because it's holding it with reverence. Hidden doesn't mean forgotten, it means protected. This is not for guests to admire, it's for your energy to settle into. When placed discreetly, the jar becomes like a whisper to the universe. This is sacred, this is mine, this is staying. Many people ask me if the jar has to be visible. My answer is always the same: visibility doesn't equal strength. In fact, too much exposure can scatter energy. Just like we draw curtains at night to rest better, your wealth energy rests better when it's tucked away. This isn't about secrecy, it's about stability. Energy that's constantly interrupted by movement, sound, eyes can't deepen, it can't root, and what can't root can't grow. I remember working with a couple in Northern California, high earners, beautiful home, but always on edge financially. It's like the money comes in, she said, but then it's gone, always gone. When I visited their bedroom, it was stunning, light, airy, perfectly decorated, but their so-called wealth jar, it sat on a mantel above the bed, surrounded by decorative candles, books, and a diffuser. It was basically a centerpiece. We wanted it to be a focal point, they said. I gently explained, wealth doesn't need applause, it needs grounding. We moved the jar to a low shelf inside their wardrobe. That small act of removing it from performance and returning it to presence shifted everything. 3 months later, they both reported feeling more balanced. We didn't suddenly get rich, he said, but we stopped fighting about money. It stopped feeling like a race. That's what right placement does. It calms the noise, it centers the signal. It allows the energy you've invited in to find its footing and stay. But just as important as where to place the jar is where not to. Let's talk about that. Avoid the kitchen. This space is filled with heat, sharp objects, and rapid activity. Even though food is linked to abundance, the kitchen is a space of transformation, raw to cooked, cold to hot. It's too active, too unstable for something that needs stillness. Placing a jar here is like storing a candle next to the stove. It may melt before it ever lights. Avoid the bathroom. Always, this room is where waste leaves, where energy flushes away. It's necessary but not nurturing. You wouldn't store fine linens here. Don't store your wealth energy either. Avoid the living room. This might surprise you, but the living room is a public space. Even in your own home, it's where attention moves outward. It's for guests, conversation, motion. Wealth that's constantly on stage rarely has a chance to rest, and wealth that doesn't rest doesn't stay. So place the jar where it can do what no one else sees: gather, hold, soften. When you open your closet in the morning, let it remind you subtly, gently, that you've made space for something important, not flashy, not loud, but steady. And that steadiness is what transforms a space from decorated to aligned. Some people struggle with this part. They want the jar to be more central, more present. They want to see it and feel its power. That's understandable. We live in a world where we're told to measure progress by visibility. But in your bedroom, your sacred, silent space, progress often looks like less. Less clutter, less proving, less effort, more presence, more intention, more peace. So if you've been waiting for a sign to make a shift, this is it. Not a renovation, not a full redesign. Just one act: take the jar, hold it in your hands, and choose its place like you're choosing where to plant something you want to grow slowly and last a lifetime. Because here's the quiet truth: energy flows where trust goes. And when you choose a space for your wealth that says you're safe here, wealth listens. Section 4, salt, bills, gold. What you place inside matters. By now you understand that this jar isn't just a container, it's a commitment, a signal, a place where your energy and your wealth can rest and take root. But once it's in the right spot, a new question quietly arises. What do you put inside? This is where most people hesitate. They ask, should I just leave it empty? Or do I fill it with coins, crystals, affirmations? But here's the truth. An empty vessel holds nothing but potential. A filled vessel begins to shape reality. What you place inside this jar will not only carry meaning, it will begin to shift how you feel about what you're building. Let's start with something simple. Salt. Just plain white salt, not exotic, not expensive, but ancient, stable, humble, and more powerful than most realize. Salt has long been used not just to flavor, but to preserve, to cleanse, to protect. Across cultures, it's been sprinkled at doorways, carried in pockets, even placed on altars. Why? Because salt absorbs what's heavy, it holds what's sacred, it anchors what might otherwise slip away. In this jar, salt becomes your foundation. It says, let this space remain clean, steady, and protected. Think of it like the soil beneath your wealth, not glamorous, but essential. Salt doesn't shout, it doesn't shine, but it keeps everything from spoiling. It reminds your energy to stay grounded. For those just beginning this journey, I often suggest filling the base of the jar with salt even before adding anything else. It's like setting the tone, calm, stable, enduring. Now let's talk about money. Actual physical bills, not coins, not loose change, but folded, clean, intentional cash. Why not coins? Because coins scatter. They jingle, they feel accidental. But a crisp $50 bill, or even just $1 100 bill, that feels different. It says, this is chosen, this is valuable. You don't need a stack, you need a symbol, something that, when you place it in the jar, feels like a small but certain declaration. What I've worked for is worth preserving. This isn't about saving money in your bedroom. It's about showing your subconscious that your effort has a place to go, that it's not wasted, that it's not leaking out the back door of your life. I once met a woman in Florida, mid-60s, recently divorced, starting over. She told me she hadn't held cash in years. Everything was digital. But she took $1 100 bill, the first she'd earned from her new business, and placed it in her jar. She said it felt like finally saying yes to myself. That bill stayed in the jar, but what changed wasn't the money, it was her mindset. She no longer felt like a beginner. She felt like someone with momentum, all because she gave her wealth a place to be seen, even if only by her. For those who can, I sometimes recommend placing an amount equal to 1 month's income into the jar, like a symbolic gesture that your labor is held, honored, and not immediately spent. But if that's not possible, even $10 placed with clear intention is enough. What matters isn't how much, it's how. And then there's gold. A ring, a small pendant, a broken earring you never wear. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be pure, but it should feel meaningful. In energy work, gold represents permanence, long-term value, rooted success. When you place gold inside the jar, you're saying, this is not temporary. This is the kind of wealth that stays, grows, and lasts. It's not flashy, it's foundational. You might wonder why all three, salt, money, and gold. Because together they form a story. Salt grounds, cash circulates, gold sustains. Each plays a role, each brings a different energy. And when they sit together in that jar, they create a quiet harmony. They don't compete, they collaborate. But here's a detail that matters just as much as what you put in. Always keep the lid closed. Not tightly sealed, not locked away. Just gently, respectfully covered. The lid is like the boundary of your intention. It says, this is enough, this is protected. An open jar is like a faucet left running. Energy leaks even if you don't see it. But a closed jar, that's a promise, a container, a keeper of quiet momentum. If you ever remove something from the jar, money you need, salt you replace, gold you wear, do it with presence, with respect. This isn't a vault, it's a relationship. What you put in isn't trapped, it's held. And when you take something out, do it as you would from a place of trust, gently, gratefully, and with awareness. Now, if you're someone who believes in symbols, you might also consider writing a short intention on a slip of paper, something simple like, I trust in the flow of lasting abundance. Place it inside, folded near the base, not as a wish but as a reminder. A quiet note to your future self. I'm building something here. I'm not rushing. I'm not doubting. I'm holding. And if you don't resonate with affirmations, that's okay too. Just sitting with the jar for a moment before placing each item, feeling what it means to choose, to value, to protect, that's more powerful than any words could ever be. Because this isn't really about salt or cash or gold. It's about your relationship with wealth. Do you respect it? Do you fear it? Do you feel like it slips through your fingers? Or do you feel ready, maybe for the first time, to say, "This time I want it to stay"? The jar listens, not to your words, but to your energy, to your actions, to what you place inside it, not just physically, but emotionally. And in that quiet space where meaning and matter meet, something begins to shift. So ask yourself, not just what you want to put inside the jar, but what you want it to hold for you. A sense of enoughness, a feeling of stability, a commitment to stop running. Because what you place inside is what your life begins to echo. Section 5. Other bedroom tools that quietly work. Not every tool that changes your life comes in the form of effort. Sometimes it comes as atmosphere, as presence, as a quiet object resting in a corner of your room doing its job without praise. After the jar, many people ask, what else can I use to help anchor peace, stability, or abundance in my bedroom? And while the jar is powerful in its symbolism, it's not alone. There are other tools just as quiet, just as unassuming, that hold energy with surprising strength. And when you place them with care, something shifts, not all at once, not loudly, but surely. Let's begin with the jade plant, or its low-maintenance cousin, the ZZ plant. At first glance, they're just houseplants, green, pretty, alive, but look closer. Their leaves are thick, rounded, plump like little green coins. That's not coincidence. In energy symbolism, round leaves signal fullness, wealth, vitality, the kind of abundance that doesn't rush in and out but grows steadily, leaf by leaf. And what matters even more is where you place them. A southeast corner in your bedroom is ideal. That's the wealth zone of the space. When you care for the plant, water it, watch it thrive, you're not just keeping a plant alive. You're nurturing the part of you that says, I'm ready to grow, and I'll do it slowly, steadily, and with grace. But be mindful. A dead or withering plant sends the opposite message. It's like keeping a bank account with a negative balance in full view. It drains more than it gives. So if you choose a plant, choose the care it needs too. And if you're not ready for that, there are other options. One of the most overlooked tools is art. Not just what's beautiful, but what's energetically aligned. In the bedroom, avoid chaos, conflict, or abstraction that feels tense. Instead, consider images of flowing water, a river, a stream, a soft waterfall. Water represents movement, circulation, life. When placed intentionally, it sends a message that abundance isn't blocked, it flows easily. Especially when hung opposite your bed or in a corner that feels stagnant, these images become reminders that energy is not meant to stay still. It's meant to move through you and toward you. Another powerful symbol, peonies. Whether as art or fabric or fresh flowers, the presence of peonies, especially in bloom, brings in more than beauty. They hold the energy of elegance, richness, and relational harmony. For centuries, they've represented not only wealth, but romantic peace. If your bedroom is a shared space, or if you want to call in deeper emotional safety, peonies remind you that tenderness and prosperity can coexist. Now let's turn to something even smaller, ancient coin replicas or gold ingots. These don't need to be valuable in the financial sense. They don't need to be real gold or antique. What they offer is a shape, a meaning. Traditional round coins with square holes in the center hold a balance. The outer circle represents generosity, wholeness, flow. The inner square represents foundation, order, structure. When you place one in a drawer, a jewelry box, or near your jar, it's a way of saying, let my wealth be both wide and stable. Let it move but never vanish. Similarly, gold ingots, small boat-shaped pieces often used in symbolic decor, represent stored value. They say, this is what I keep, what I protect, what I plan to grow. Again, no need for extravagance. The power is in the message, not the metal. And then there's rose quartz, soft, pink, and deeply soothing. It's not a money stone, but it does something just as vital. It helps your heart rest. In bedrooms, rose quartz near the headboard or on a nightstand is like a breath of calm air. It encourages kindness, softens sharpness, eases conversations, and in that emotional softness, energy flows easier. Because abundance isn't just about what comes in. It's about what doesn't get blocked by resentment, fear, or isolation. Wealth thrives in homes where people feel safe to love, to rest, and to begin again after being hurt. That's what rose quartz quietly reminds you. Finally, consider the Himalayan salt lamp, not just as decor, but as a daily tool. When lit, its glow is unlike anything else, warm, gentle, and deeply grounding. These lamps purify air on a physical level, but energetically they do more. They absorb the heaviness that builds up in rooms where people worry, argue, overthink. In bedrooms where all those emotions quietly land at night, a salt lamp doesn't fix the mood. It softens it, makes it easier to breathe, makes the space feel like an exhale instead of a holding breath. When choosing one, pick based on size, not brightness. You want a subtle presence, not a spotlight, and turn it on for at least an hour a day. Let the light do its work, gently, consistently. Now all these tools, plants, paintings, stones, symbols, they are not magic, they're not guarantees, they're invitations. Each one placed with care becomes a gesture. I am shaping my space to match my intention. And that's what makes them powerful, not because they change the world, but because they quietly begin to change you. I've seen clients come back to life just by changing one piece of art. I've seen marriages soften after a single rose quartz found its place on a bedside table. I've watched a woman in her 70s start a new creative chapter after placing a jade plant next to a handwritten wish she kept hidden in a drawer. None of these things happened overnight, but they began with a choice to believe that small can still be sacred. So as you look around your bedroom, don't ask, "What's missing?" Ask instead, "What could quietly support me?" Is it a soft light, a living plant, a reminder of stability? Pick one, place it with meaning, and let it do what only quiet objects can do, hold space for something better. Because the bedroom isn't just where you sleep, it's where your next season begins. Let it be a space that speaks to your worth even when no one's watching. Final, if you've come this far, it means something inside you is shifting. Not because I said the right thing or showed the perfect object, but because you recognized something in yourself. A whisper that said, "I want to feel different in my own space. I want to hold what I've worked so hard for. I want the energy around me to support me, not just visually, but emotionally, energetically, honestly." We've spent this journey talking about a jar, but what we've really been talking about is you. Your boundaries, your beliefs about money, your capacity to allow stillness and trust, even in a world that keeps asking for more. The jar was the doorway. The placement, the objects inside, the plants, the lights, those were tools. But the real shift, that happens when you stop thinking of your bedroom as just a room and start treating it as a mirror. A living, breathing extension of your choices, your desires, your healing. Science tells us that our environment shapes our behavior. Neurologically, the spaces we occupy influence how our brains process stress, how we sleep, how we focus, even how we make decisions. That's not woo-woo. That's the biology of attention, pattern, and energy regulation. When your room feels safe, your nervous system softens. When it feels intentional, your confidence grows. And when it feels aligned with your future, not just your past, you begin to act from a place of power, not panic. So yes, a green glazed jar matters, so does salt and placement, and the color of the light that touches your pillow at night. But more than anything, what matters is whether your space says what you want it to say, that you are ready, that you are worthy, that you are creating a home not just for furniture, but for flow, for peace, for prosperity that doesn't shout, but stays. And to you watching all the way to the end, thank you. Thank you for honoring your own energy by showing up with this kind of presence. I don't take that lightly. I know there are 1,000 voices telling you what to do with your money, your home, your life. But in the quiet, you chose to listen to one voice that simply said, Make it yours. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, take a moment to look around your room, not with criticism, but with softness. Ask gently what here supports me, what needs to change. Maybe it's one object, one corner, one jar, that's enough. You don't have to do everything. You just have to start honoring the space where your future begins. And my hope, my true hope, is that you wake tomorrow not just refreshed, but realigned. Not just lighter, but anchored. And that from this moment on, your bedroom doesn't just hold your sleep, it holds your becoming. Take care, stay steady, and may everything you build from here be rooted in peace.